All right, Clyde, lay down. I'm trying to make a video. Can you lay down? Okay. Late Sunday night, Pelosi, Schumer, and McConnell announced that they finally reached an agreement for a $900 billion stimulus package, including much-needed stimulus to American families, workers, and small businesses. It isn't everything we had hoped for, but overall, at least it's a decent bill. How much stimulus can you expect to receive? And so much more in today's video. Hello and welcome to Stephen Carlson Show. I'm Stephen Carlson. I'm a tech entrepreneur, real estate investor, author, YouTuber, volunteer paramedic, and once again, Clyde is down here. Oh, and Bonnie's over there. Now, before I get too far, as many of my viewers will know, I have a team of outstanding lawyers that I keep chained up in my basement. They get a little bit rowdy whenever I make a video. The only way to calm them down is to give a quick disclaimer. The opinions in this video are exactly that, they're opinions. This video is for entertainment purposes only, and I am not a financial advisor nor a lawyer, and I have absolutely no certifications, so this is not financial advice or legal advice, blah, 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 blah. You know, you get the point. Okay, all that legal mumbo-jumbo out of the way, let's get to what's essential. After months of both political parties basically choosing party politics over the American people's economic safety, we are finally at the finish line. Sadly, this is just but a drop in the hat compared to the massive financial losses suffered by almost all American families. But at the moment, any little crumbs that the DC swamp is willing to toss our way is better than nothing. We need to keep the pressure up on DC, so please comment down below with the hashtag TeamEIDL. That is one word, TeamEIDL, and share this video on your social media accounts. Make sure DC knows that we expect our $10,000 EIDL grants and more for all the struggling small businesses. Politico is reporting. Congressional leaders on Sunday night unveiled highlights of a $900 billion fiscal stimulus package and a $1.4 trillion government funding deal that will deliver critical pandemic aid to millions of Americans and pad federal agency budgets through to next September. If passed by both chambers on Monday, as expected, the colossal year-end package will provide another round of direct payments, enhanced unemployment benefits, and billions of dollars for struggling industries in what still amounts to a less than generous package than the $3 trillion CARES Act that was mounted in the beginning of the pandemic. Unemployment benefits will expire mid-March, likely setting up another deadline for additional congressional action early in the year. Here's a breakdown of what's inside this massive year-end compromise according to Democratic and Republican summaries. $166 billion in direct stimulus checks. Individuals making up to $75,000 a year will receive a payment of $600, while couples making up to $150,000 will receive $1,200 in addition to the $600 per child. This deal also makes stimulus checks more accessible for immigrant families. For many, this is going to be roughly half the amount they received back in the beginning of the year as part of the CARES Act. There will be $120 billion in extra unemployment help. Jobless workers will get an additional $300 per week in federal cash through to March 14th. The legislation also extends unemployment benefits for self-employed individuals, gig workers, and those who have exhausted their state benefits. Once again, this is half of the weekly amount received as part of the CARES Act. $325 billion in small business boosts. Pandemic-ravaged small businesses would see a total of $325 billion, including $284 billion in loans through the Paycheck Protection Program, that's the PPP, $20 billion for companies in low-income communities, and $15 billion for struggling live venues like movie theaters and museums. A significant priority for Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. We are still waiting on the actual text of the legislation to be released. Once we do, I will have a full, detailed video out soon that will show how small businesses can take advantage of these programs. Make sure you're subscribed and click the notification bell so you'll get notified as soon as I upload these videos, because many of these programs will run out of money very quickly. The legislation also allows businesses to deduct expenses associated with their forgiven PPP loans, in addition to expanding the employee retention credit intended to prevent layoffs. It includes a 2-year tax break for business meals, and this was a major priority of Donald Trump, and rolls over various temporary tax breaks known as extenders, some for multiple years. The package also extends the payroll tax subsidy for employers offering sick leave and boosts in the earned income tax credit. There's also $1.4 billion set aside for the border wall and an additional $20 billion for new processing coordinators. $45 billion in transportation aid that includes $15 billion to help airlines maintain their payrolls, $14 billion for mass transit systems, $10 billion for state highways, $2 billion for airports, and $1 billion for Amtrak. Food and farmer assistance programs were also included. This year-end package includes $13 billion to bolster the food stamp benefits by 15%, although it doesn't actually expand SNAP eligibility. Farmers and ranchers will also see an additional $13 billion of direct payments to cover pandemic-induced losses. $69 billion for vaccines, testing, and tracing. The package includes $20 billion for the purchase of vaccines, nearly $9 billion for vaccine distribution, and about $22 billion to help states with testing, tracing, and COVID-19 mitigation programs. Rental aid and eviction ban. This is a $25 billion federal rental assistance program with $800 million set aside for Native American housing. And the federal eviction ban has been extended all the way through the end of January. There'll also be an included $82 billion in total for colleges and universities, with more than $4 billion for Governor's Relief Fund, more than $54 billion for public K-12 schools, and nearly $23 billion for Higher Education Fund. Separately, the child care sector will receive about $10 billion in emergency cash. And forgiveness of nearly $1.3 billion in federal loans to historically black colleges and universities. Will deliver Pell Grants to incarcerated students after 26-year ban and would simplify financial aid forms. A 3% pay boost for military personnel. This agreement also invests $7 billion to increase broadband access for students, families, and unemployed workers, including $300 million for rural broadband and $250 million for telehealth. Now, I really want to see the text of this law because if this is anything like any of the previous rural broadband initiatives, they have been basically a complete scam and ended up being nothing but a corporate welfare program. Should I create a video showing how multiple large national internet service providers have been lining their pockets for years and refusing to offer any improved services for rural customers? Trust me, I live in the absolute middle of nowhere in Virginia, and it has been a constant battle to get ISPs to offer any improved service. But yet, they still bill me the initiative fee every single month. If you would like to see that video, comment down below and let me know. This was a quick summary of what is in the bill that is expected to be approved today. What do you guys think? Should there be more money allocated to stimulus checks? How about a PPP or EIDL? Or do you think the bill is good as it stands? Comment down below and let me know. Don't forget to check out my other video that came out this morning, giving you an emergency stock market update on Intel and what you need to do to prevent financial loss. Thank you very much for watching. Please make sure you click like and subscribe. Doing so helps with the YouTube algorithm. I appreciate it, as do Bonnie and Clyde. Thanks, and I'll see you on the next one.